Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Maddie, and in this video, I'm going to be covering everything you need to know about split screen and multitasking in RemNote. Split screen allows you to make two side-by-side Rem documents so that you can edit between them and also compare and contrast different information. So let's go into the ways how you can actually set up split screen. The first way to enable split screen is to actually just hold Shift and click on any bullet point. For example, I'll hold Shift and I'll left click here, and it opens up this Rem in the second pane. This also works for references and tags. For example, I'll tag this Rem with RemNote, and if I hold Shift and left click on RemNote, it'll open up RemNote in a second pane. And the next way to use split screen is to actually just open up a document in a second pane. So I'm going to use the hotkey Control+P to search through my knowledge base for a Rem. I'm just going to type in RemNote again, and you'll see there's an option to hold Shift and hit Enter to open in a new pane. So I'm just going to hold Shift and hit Enter, and it's opened up in a second pane. Now both of these documents have the same exact function. I like to think of it as kind of an extension of one document into another, or just two side-by-side documents that do the same thing. You can access their page settings using the three dot icons at the top, or you can hit the X to just close out of the pane. So now let's talk about multitasking in RemNote and how you can use the two panes to improve your workflow. So I'm going to hold Shift and left click on multitasking to open it up in a second pane. I'm also going to expand it on the left side here. So the first thing I want to mention is that you can actually drag bullet points across your documents. So just like how you can drag bullet points up and down in your single document, you can also drag them across the other pane. This also works for multiple Rem. You can also copy a Rem as a reference, as a tag, or as a portal so that you can paste them in your same document or in the second pane. I'll demonstrate all three of those here. So the hotkey for copying a reference would be Control+Shift+R. It says my Rem has been copied as a reference, and I can paste it in my other pane, and it'll be pasted as a reference of that Rem I just made. To do a tag, I'll do Control+Shift+S, and I'll copy this tag to my clipboard. And if I paste that, this Rem was copied as just a tag. And lastly, I can do a portal as well using Control+Shift+E. I copied a portal to this document, and if I paste it over here, it pastes just the portal of the Rem. And notice how all the changes I made in the left document are reflected by the right document. And that's just because I opened up multitasking on the right, but it's from the same parent, which is the split screen Rem. You can also resize the shape of the panes to make one bigger or smaller. There are two ways to do this. You can use the hotkeys Control+Shift+ open or close bracket. So if I use that, Control+Shift open bracket will move it to the left, and Control+Shift right bracket will move it to the right. And the other way to do this would just be to click and drag the divider. So if I hover my cursor over the divider, you'll see this faint blue line appear, and I can just click and drag to resize the shape of the pane. The final thing I want to mention in this video is that you can actually make multiple panes using one of our lab features. This is for pro users. To do this, you have to go into your settings and enable the lab feature for multiple panes. So I'm going to go into my settings by clicking on my username, hitting settings, labs, and I'm going to enable windowed panes. What this allows me to do is make more than two panes. I'm going to hold Shift and left click to make two panes here, and I'm going to hold Shift and click again to make additional panes, and additional panes, and additional panes. And of course, all of these panes can also be resized to fit whatever screen you're working with. Alright everyone, that was a quick video on how to multitask in RemNote. I will see you all in the next video.